Hello everyone, let's talk evolution. Welcome to my YouTube channel and Facebook page. Wherever you find this video, welcome. It's nice to have you. I'm High Priestess Elif and I help people to transform and evolve to become the best version of themselves in every moment and every step along their journey. Okay, to remember who they are, to remember who you are. Because when you remember who you are no longer lost, you are no longer lonely, and you are no longer in need or empty. Because you know who you are, you know what you've come for, you've got access to all of your tools, and most importantly, you've got access to yourself, which is your connection to Source. So you are tuned in, plugged in, and turned on. And you are no longer dependent on who or what anybody else can and will and is willing to do for you. We're taking a look at what is happening just based on twin flames. We're looking at what a twin flame is not. Okay, twin flames have become very popular. It's all over all over YouTube, all over the internet, and we are all searching for meaning. So sometimes when we have a connection that seems to be very intense, seems to have a real hold over us, we can misunderstand and think that we're in a twin flame connection. And so I decided to, instead of looking at what a twin flame is, I'm going to look at and share with you what it is not. I think that might be helpful, considering that there's so much information about what a twin flame actually is. And it's easy for us to make things fit in our lives when it really doesn't. Okay. And that doesn't serve. Okay. So, what a twin flame is not. It's not always the one. That romantic relationship, that Prince Charming that's going to come into your life, that you've made a list of what you want him or her to be like, how they will behave, how you will feel around them. This is not the person that is going to fit into your romantic notion according to a concept of romance that you have adopted since coming into this earthly plane, based on what you've watched on television, what you've seen through other people and relationships, and what you've experienced that you don't want, or that you decided you want more of. Okay, because romance, the notion of romance in a relationship is that somebody comes into your life, fits a particular mold, and completes your concept of love for you. So there is a dependence on somebody else coming into your experience and fulfilling everything that you believe is going to make you feel worthy, going to make you feel loved, and going to make you feel complete. Your twin flame is not here to do that, because your twin flame is not this person outside of you that comes into your experience and fits your mold because there's a strong connection. So you guys are just going to make it fit. And everything's going to be, you're going to live happily ever after. No. Your twin flame is your soul. You have one soul. You've incarnated into these bodies, two separate bodies, because our 3D reality, the earth, is made up of duality. The earth exists on the basis of duality. Positive and negative, yin and yang, day and night, however you want to look at it, these two opposites coming together, creating a whole. So when we incarnated into these bodies to come to this earth, we had to incarnate into that duality. It's these two different bodies, but you are one soul. Two different minds, two different bodies, but one soul. And not every twin flame is activated in that way where you meet one another face to face. Some twin flames live on this globe without ever meeting one another. Okay. So you're not two separate people, you are one. Because the version of you don't have a soul, you are soul. You have a body and you have a mind. Okay, so you that is soul incarnated into two bodies, and you have two. Those bodies have minds, their own computer systems on which they run. You will not fit, your twin flame will not fit into your mold, because your twin flame has come to change your life, not fit into it. Your twin flame has come to change your life as you know it here. And how does your life change? Your life changes when you change. So your twin flame comes into your experience to activate your awakening, which automatically brings about change. Because when you've lived in a particular body, in a particular space, thinking that your name is Susan and that you're a boy and that you have no parents and there is no world out there, it's only this house and the rooms in it, that is reality. And suddenly you start awakening to your memory of, no, but I'm not Susan, and there's more to me, and there's more to this world, and that is what your twin flame comes into your experience to activate. It's your awakening. And when you begin to awaken, you start to change automatically. And when you change, your life changes. So they didn't come to fit into what already exists for you and what you think is important. They've come to shake it up and to change it. Your twin flame is not a powerful connection because this person is your Romeo. So sometimes because that connection is so intense, we think this must be the one. This must be the person that I'm meant to just fit in with, click into place with, and we live happily ever after. And we are terribly disappointed because instead of being the Romeo that we think we've been searching for, or the Juliet that we think we've been searching for, your twin flame is rather a catalyst for your personal awakening. And you can go in, for those of you who know what what an awakening is, it's not all sunshine, butterflies and roses. It shakes you to the core because it's meant to. Because it is the breaking away of that outer shell that is our ego that we've identified with so much, and allowing the fullness of who we really are to emerge, the soul self. Okay, he or she will not rescue you. Your twin flame is not here to rescue you from all the bad relationships that you've ever had, and to finally make you feel loved and feel like you are enough and feel like you are worthy and feel like you are valid and that you are whole. No. The twin flame is not a romantic story because it is the meeting of yourself, the part of you that helps you to become your own hero. Okay? It is not an easy connection because you're going through your spiritual awakening, your twin flame awakening, you are going through an ego death. Now, when you've identified all that you believe you are and your reality to be through your ego, which is what we've all done because we didn't know any better. It is just the way that it is. The ego attaches to everything. When that begins, when that detachment starts breaking away and that smoke and mirrors start to collapse and you're looking at what really is happening around you, it can be frightening. It is you're going through an ego death that doesn't happen overnight. It goes through phases, okay, and stages. So it is not an easy connection. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be fulfilling. It's meant to be worth it. It's meant to honor the fullness of who you really are. So it is the breaking away of the shell. And I just saw this image flash before me of the caterpillar in the cocoon. It looks really peaceful when you're looking at from the outside, but imagine what is going on structurally for that caterpillar to become a butterfly inside of that cocoon. It must be intense. And I'm sure on YouTube you'll be able to find videos of what exactly is happening or taking place in there to give you an idea. You're going through a complete structural transformation on every level of your being. It's not just a matter of dancing into the next phase of your life. Okay, so going to go through a list of what your twin flame is and what your soul, as opposed to what your soulmate is, so that you can see the distinct difference, okay, from my perspective. Number 1, your twin flame is your perfect mirror. Everything happening in your life, every person you meet, every situation you encounter, everything, that which you call a nightmare, that which you call a blessing, that which you call a miracle, all of it is mirroring what is active vibrationally, energetically within you. That's a hard one to wrap your head around. And it doesn't matter how we look at it, it's always going to be true. It is a fact. And I've worked with many, many people on their personal journeys towards owning their truth, towards transformation and letting in their personal evolution. And at one point or another, they've all had to admit that the more they look at it, the more they realize that because I have this subject active, or I have this belief active on that subject, I can see how I've attracted exactly that which I don't want. Whatever is active on a particular subject within yourself is going to play out in the world around you, and you think it's just reality. So your twin flame comes along to be your perfect mirror, to show you the shadow side, yours. So some people will call it a dark night of the soul, will come to show you face to face your alter ego, your shadow self, so that you can find a way to reconcile with it, to come to understanding, respect, and appreciation of it, so that you, your side that is light, and your shadow side can come into harmony and bring the perfect balance, which is what this 3D reality, this world, this earthly plane is about. It is about duality and bringing things together in a way that, you know, my son is into science, and just the other day he was saying to me, he was talking about two different elements that on their own is poison, but when you bring them together, they make up one of the most important products or crystals that we use on this earth. And I remember, I think it was, he said it was salt. He described it in a much better way than I am now. But there are so many things that on their own may seem pointless, but when you bring them together, they just become so much more. And it's the same for us in our twin flame journey. It's about bringing those two sides, because it's easy for us to focus on who we want to be. It's easy for us to focus on who we choose to be based on what we think is going to be more accepted or favored. But we are a whole, and embracing ourselves, regardless of our fear of judgment or anything else, has so much value. So your twin flame is your perfect mirror, whereas your soulmate is your perfect mate. Okay? Number 2, your twin flame is your spiritual flame. Now think about what a flame is, a spiritual flame. Okay? It is that flame on a soul level. When you think about the flame symbolically, we think about the fact that it adds so much value to our existence, because there's so much that fire can do to help bring us comfort, from cooking our food to keeping us warm, but it can also be extremely destructive. Now think about the phoenix as an example. The phoenix rises from the ashes. The flame is valuable because it burns away, it destroys anything that is inorganic, and only that which is organic, the phoenix rises. The best part of who you are rises from the flames, and that's why your twin flame is that perfect flame that comes to burn you. Often it can feel like you're being burnt, but to destroy the ego constructs, so that the part of you that is authentic can emerge, and only that. Whereas your soulmate is your spiritual companion. Number 3, your twin flame. Through your twin flame, you meet your shadow, right? Your shadow self. And through your soulmate, you will meet your best friend. So, if you are not already your best friend, then you will struggle with your soulmate connection, and None of us meet our soulmates when we already are our best friends and we are in that whole place with ourselves. We might be well on our way towards it, but through the twin flame journey, you come to realize, I'm actually not anywhere near where I thought I want to be or was. Okay. Number 4, your twin flame is your highest spiritual teacher. Whereas your soulmate is your ideal companion with whom you will journey together. So you both are moving in the same sort of direction. You've met on a path. You know, it's like going on a trip somewhere. You're traveling alone, but whilst you're standing in line to board the plane, you start chatting to someone. They're going to the very same place you're going, and then you discover that they're also traveling alone. And then they tell you about why they've decided on this trip, and you realize they're traveling for the very same reasons you are, and you guys have so much in common. And you realize that this is the ideal person for me to enjoy this journey with, or parts of it with. And that's what your soulmate is like. Number 5, your twin flame, you might not feel like you guys are compatible because your twin flame and you are too similar to be compatible, to feel compatible. You know, compatibility is about seeing whether someone fits into the lifestyle I already have, the way that I like to do things, the way I like to handle things. Your twin flame is not going to fit into that because your twin flame is about coming to teach you that it's okay for people to be different, for two individuals to be completely independent. It has no impact on love. Okay? Whereas with your soulmate, you are naturally compatible, because you have so much in common, and you have the same vision, and you have the same destination, and you've chosen the same path. You know, there's a lot of things that just sort of fit in and make sense. You're not challenged to your core the way you are in a twin flame dynamic. Number 6, you only have one twin flame. You don't have more than one. As I've explained in the beginning of the video, you're one soul. You're 2 bodies, 2 minds. So that does not exist. So it's similar to, and that's what's called a twin. If you're a twin, you can only have that one twin. You can have many brothers and sisters, but you can only have that one twin. Okay, so it's the same. So with soulmates, you can have many soulmates. Soulmates show up in the form of friends, not only romantic partners. Soulmates show up in the form of family members as well. Okay. Number 7. A twin flame connection can become toxic because it triggers the ego. The ego doesn't want to let go, and it knows that it's going through a death process, a peeling away of its power as a result of your twin flame being in your life, and it doesn't want to let go, so it often pushes up. And that's when it can appear to be a little bit toxic. But with your twin flame connection, and I want you to remember what I'm saying, maybe other coaches, other spiritual advisors will say something else, but please keep in mind what I'm saying. The moment your twin flame connection, one of you or both of you, because you're normally mirroring one another, allow ego traits, toxic traits to push up, it'll lead to instant separation. When you're in a connection that might feel like it's a twin flame connection, but the two of you are toxic and you're toxic together and you stay together while you're toxic, it's not a twin flame connection. That's probably a karmic connection. So it will lead, the moment the ego pushes up, it'll lead to separation. And that's why with some twin flames, there are a couple of times where, from the time that you activated, you separate, come back together, then there's separation, come back together and separation. And eventually you realize this is actually more than what I think it is. I should be growing. I should be learning about this. I should be doing the work to line up with my awakening here. Then your person stays. Okay. Whereas with your soulmate, it's not a toxic connection. It's not toxic. Okay. Number 8, your twin flame connection can be codependent because you feel you have this intense knowing that you are one. You feel like this person is another version of you. And sometimes they're a version of you that you don't really like. Because you are two of the same. Okay? They represent the negative polarity, which means your shadow side, your alter ego, the parts of you that you don't want to acknowledge. They come and put it in your face, in a sense. And your instinct will be to try and make them change and see that they need to change their behavior. But what really needs to happen is you need to change that. You need to transmute that energetically within yourself. That's what it's coming to show you. Okay. Whereas with a soulmate, you are two individuals. You have different interests. You have different goals. You just happen to, it makes sense and it's comfortable to be on the same path to the same destination, but you're going to the destination maybe for slightly different reasons. Okay. Number 9, the twin flame connection can feel very overwhelming because it is incredibly intense. And think about it. In my work, in helping people through their spiritual process, in coaching for transformation and personal evolution, one of the key aspects to that, key components, is to you finding yourself in a whole new way, holding space for yourself, for the relationship that you have with you in a way that you have for the world out there, but never really for yourself. And when you meet your twin flame, you want to repeat the same habits that you do with everybody else, expecting it to work, and it doesn't. If you don't choose you first, if you are not your first love, your twin flame won't stay, because your twin flame is symbolic of you. So you must be your first love, not them. Not them, the body, and them, the mind. You must be your first love. You must have such a beautiful love affair with yourself that the whole world can disappear, and all of their chaos, it can disappear around you because you're in this blissful place in your relationship with yourself. And that's why it can feel very overwhelming when you are not at that place with you. Most people have addictions, find distractions in the world. They use relationships as distractions. They use their career as a distraction because they're running away from themselves. And so your twin flame will be very overwhelming because you cannot run away from yourself. They are you, and they're right in your face. And you can't just ignore them. Even twin flames who have been separated for months, maybe a year or two, you can't just erase that person from your energy, from your mind, and from the world that you live in as if they never existed. We can do that with many other people, but not with a twin flame. So it can be overwhelming. Whereas your soulmate, you're always comfortable. Even when you're not in a comfortable place with yourself, you're always comfortable with your soulmate. Number 10, and this is my final point. The energy that your twin flame connection embodies is lesson focused and purpose focused. So many clients ask me, am I meant to be with my soulmate, with my twin flame? Are we meant to be together? And I usually read their energy to see what it is that they've signed up for, what they've contracted to on a soul level. So some people think you contract to that before you come into this reality. To some extent you do. And then you calibrate to it with every choice that you make in this life. So if you have come into this life and through your experience in this life has decided that it is important for you to be the eternal student, teacher sometimes and student, you're open to constantly learning as the world changes, as technologies evolve. Technology is not only computers and all of that. The technology is whatever makes our world function better. And this body of yours is technology as well. So as healers, as light workers, as spiritual coaches and teachers, we are working with the technology, okay, just of a different kind. So if you've come into this life knowing that you want to be the eternal, you're comfortable with being the eternal student and constantly leveling up and becoming more of yourself, that excites you, then you will be excited by the growth and the discomfort that it comes with when you find yourself stuck at times. Then yes, you very possibly have contracted to share your life with your twin flame. That's number one. Because if you don't like to be challenged all the time, if you like for life to be the same for 5 or 6 years, then a twin flame is not what you want. Because it is constantly going to help you to level up. It's going to challenge those aspects of yourself, of your beliefs, of your behavior that do not contribute to and are not in harmony with unconditional love and spiritual growth in our collective on our planet. And that's why I said it's lesson focused and purpose focused. With the twin flame, the collective energy is always the question, the fundamental question in your energy of your connection is, what are we building? What are we here to co-create for the collective? It's about your purpose. It's not about, are you here to fill my needs? Are you here to tick the boxes on my list? Are you here to make me feel loved? Are you here to make me feel special? Are you here to yield to my every need and my every demand? No, because they're not. When you on a soul level want to be with your twin flame, your question instead is, what is it that you and I are doing to be the best versions of ourselves today so that we can contribute to the collective of unconditional love? Not what are you doing that makes me feel loved or unloved. It's different. It's not about you. It's about the collective. So it's not selfish. It's not ego. You understand? Whereas with the soulmate connection, it is connection focused, not lesson or purpose focused. And so the fundamental question for me that rises up in the vibration of the connection, and perhaps that's what you ask yourself in relation to your person, is what is it that we are co-creating and building for us? So you see, it's different. And that's where I'm going to go. That's as far as I'm going to go with this talk today. And I hope that you found it to be interesting, to be thought-provoking, and to possibly help you to understand what the twin flame versus a soulmate is better. To have a better understanding and appreciation for either, because there's value in it all. Comment below, let me know how it resonates. If you enjoyed it, give me your opinions, your feedback. I'd love to hear back from you. And if you have any questions on this subject, comment, and I will make a video answering your questions so that it helps us all to grow. Okay. Thank you so much for your likes. Those of you who have not subscribed yet, if you've enjoyed the energy and this talk, then go ahead and subscribe so you can see my upcoming readings. I do tarot readings and channeled messages as well. Love and light, guys. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye now.